What's going on, guys? Nitemarejp here, and we're back with another unit breakdown. In this unit breakdown, we'll be going over the new dual legend NAMI and Robin Red Tulip's Relaxation. And in this unit breakdown, we'll be going over the unit's captain ability, their special ability, what are some subs you can use on them, and last but not least, my final thoughts on the unit. So without further ado, let's get into the captain ability. So the first unit you'll be playing as in the NAMI Robin dual unit is NAMI. So NAMI's captain ability is to boost the attack of Dex and Int characters by 3.75 if they have a beneficial orb, otherwise 3.5x. She'll also boost her HP by 1.3x and make Dex and orbs beneficial for Dex and Int characters. And if a Dex and Int character has an empty orb, she'll boost their attack by 4x instead. The next character you'll be playing as is Robin when you swap, and Robin's captain ability is to boost the attack of Dex and Int characters by 3.25x, their HP and RCV by 1.3x. She'll reduce damage by 10%, and she'll also make Dex and Int orbs beneficial for Dex and Int characters. And also, like NAMI, if a Dex or Int character has an empty orb, she'll boost their attack by 4x instead. Now when you use this dual unit special and combined, they will now boost the attack of Dex and Int characters by 4.5x, their HP and RCV by 1.3x, reduce damage received by 20%, and they will also make Dex and Int orbs beneficial for Dex and Int characters. And if a Dex or Int character has an empty orb, they will now boost their attack by 6x instead. And they have 3 sailor abilities, and their base sailor abilities, they make Dex and Int orbs beneficial for all characters, and same in their dual ability. And their limit break sailor ability is to reduce paralysis by 1 turn. And their special ability is to cut the current HP of one enemy by 25%, amplify the effects of orbs for Dex and Int characters by 2.5x for 1 turn, and it will reduce paralysis duration by 10 turns and become NAMI and Robin for 3 turns. And they have a crazy swap ability. When they swap, if this character has no store orbs, they will store the current orbs and change all orbs into empty, and if this character has stored orbs, they will store the orbs into the slots. So this also applies for block orbs, rainbow orbs, symbol orbs, and Wano orbs, which is really powerful because you can always just run like a friend captain Luffy Zoro, get some symbol orbs, some Wano orbs, swap, and then swap again on the next turn, and then you'll have your Wano orbs back again, which is really great and a really cool idea for storing your orbs, which is very powerful. But now that we're done with breaking down this unit's captain ability, let's talk about some subs that you can use. So as we talked about, NAMI and Robin are orb boosters, so what you would like to have on your team for most situations are attack boosters. So here are some attack boosters you can use. Sabo and Koala. Sabo and Koala are a 2.5x attack booster for Cerebral and Free Spirit characters, and they also remove all beneficial and the negative orb debuff, which is really powerful. They also have a swap ability that gives a 1.5 color affinity boost for Cerebral and Free Spirit characters, which is really great, especially since NAMI and Robin in both forms are Cerebral and Free Spirit, and also in their dual form, which is really nice. So another unit you can use for attack boost is V2 Shanks, who will give a 2.25 attack boost for the dominant color, and also provide a 0.9 chain boost. So V2 Shanks is really great because he can be used easily on a mono Dex team with NAMI Robin. All you have to do is provide 2 more Dex units, and you can have Shanks and another unit of your choice, and you get a 2.25 attack boost for Dex characters. And then for Int characters, all you have to do is add an additional Int unit, and you can also become a 2.25 attack boost for Int characters, which is really nice. Next up we have is Tashigi, and Tashigi will boost the attack of Dex and Int characters by 2.25x if there are 5 or more on the crew. Otherwise, you'll only boost by 2x, which is still really great. and she will make 4 orbs beneficial for Dex and Int characters for 3 turns, which are Strength, RCP, Psi, and TND. Next up we have is Viola, who will boost the attack of Cerebral characters by 2x if the HP is above 50%, and if it's not above 50%, she'll boost the attack by 1.75 instead. She has double specials, so you can use her special multiple turns, and she also makes adjacent orbs matching, which is really nice. And the final attack booster we'll be looking at is the event Doflamingo from the Dressrosa event, and he will boost the attack by 2x after the 12th hit in the chain, and he will also change empty and badly matching orbs into matching orbs, which is really great. So next up, let's look at some utility units that you would like to use, that I personally will like to use and use on a NAMI Robin team. And the first one we have is Corazon 6+. He removes 3 turns of Bind, Despair, Attack Down, Paralysis, Chain Lock, Chain Down, and heals 50 times his RCV stat, which is really great. The next unit we'll be looking at is Alvida from the batch. She removes 5 turns of Bind, increased damage taken, and percent shield. She also applies 80% damage reduction, and if there are 5 or more Dex or Int characters, she also provides a 0.8 chain boost, which is really nice. Next unit we'll be looking at is Ein, who removes 2 turns of Bind, Despair, percent shield, and increased defense. She also has double special, and she applies a 70% damage reduction, and if you use her special twice in a row, she will heal 30% of the crew's max HP, which is really nice. Next unit we'll be looking at is 6+ Rayleigh, who removes 7 turns of Bind, Despair, and Paralysis, and he also makes Perfects much easier to hit. The next unit we'll be looking at is Valentine's Day Shirahoshi, who removes 5 turns of Paralysis, Silence, and Attack Down, and she'll heal 7k HP for 3 turns, which is really nice. And the next unit we'll be looking at is from the Kumarisaki and Onami batch, Otama, and she removes 7 turns of Burn, Paralysis, Chain Lock, Chain Down, and heals 30 times her RCV stat, which is really great. Now let's look at some color affinity boosters that I would personally use on a NAMI Robin team. The first one we'll be looking at is Vivi and Rebecca. Vivi and Rebecca remove all percent and increase defense, and they will boost the color affinity of Striker and Cerebral characters by 2x. They also have really nice swap ability that heals 2000 HP every time you swap, and also provides a 2.5x chain, which is really great for stalling. The next unit we'll be looking at is the brand new Coliseum Sangoro. He changes all color orbs into matching orbs for Dex and Int characters, and he'll heal 30% of the max HP value of the crew and reduce cooldowns by 1 turn. And if your captain is Free Spirit, Cerebral, or Powerhouse, he'll boost the color affinity of Int and Dex characters by 2x. Otherwise, he will boost color affinity of Int and Dex characters by 1.75 instead, which is really nice. The next unit we'll be looking at is Shanks and Ben Beckman, who removes all orbs and makes them empty, and except for Rainbow, Wano orbs, and Semla, and they will also provide a 3x color affinity and also a 3x chain lock. So they are really great for Robin and NAMI, not because they make empty orbs yet, because right now currently empty orbs, the 6x attack boost isn't really that good, but you can always swap with one of your NAMI Robins, and then you can get a full board of orbs, which is really powerful. So you can always have like full matching orbs and then have your 3x color affinity and 3x chain lock, which is really great. Maybe in the future we'll get a unit that makes empty orbs beneficial for 3+ turns, so we can use Shanks Beckman more effectively with the 6x attack boost, but that'll be made later on in the future perhaps. But the next unit for color affinity that we'll be looking at is the Rate Judge. He boosts the color affinity of Dex, Strength, and side characters by 2x, and he removes 5 turns of increased damage taken, chain lock, and chain down. And the final unit for color affinity we'll be looking at is the Wano Carrot. Carrot, she removes 3 turns of Despair and attack down. She'll change badly matching orbs into T&D orbs, and she'll boost the color affinity of free spirit characters by 1.75x. And if you hit 3 perfects on the next turn, she'll also boost color affinity by 1.75x for free spirit characters again. Next up, we'll be looking at conditional boosters that you can use on a NAMI Robin team, and some conditional boosters you can use include the Treasure Map Sabo, who changes all color orbs for cerebral characters into matching and applies a self 1.75 defense down conditional boost. The next unit we'll be looking at is Treasure Map Boa, who, if the captain has an int orb, she'll change it to Psi, and then she'll change that orb back into int again if you use her special twice in a row, because she is double special, and she'll provide a 1.75 conditional for defense down as well, which is really nice. Next unit we'll be looking at is the dual Shanks and Mihawk. If you're below 50% HP, they will delay enemies for 2 turns and also boost the attack against delayed enemies for 2 turns by 1.75x. They will also remove 2 turns of bind, silence, and attack down, which is really great. The next unit we'll be looking at is Gastino. And Gastino, if your captain is Cerebral or Slasher, she'll boost the attack against poison enemies by 1.75x for 3 turns. And that final unit we'll be looking at is the Raid V1 Lucci, and if there is 1 enemy on the field, he'll delay that enemy for 1 turn and boost the attack against delayed enemies by 1.75x for 1 turn. So he's a really nice unit, especially in casino battles and just for delay conditional in general if there's only 1 enemy. Next up, we'll be looking at chain lockers and chain boosters. So the first one we'll be looking at is a really powerful one, V2 Big Mom. So V2 Big Mom, if you're above 50% HP, she'll apply a 3.5x chain lock, and she will also apply a buff. I don't know what to call it, but it increases the total stats of the crew based off the HP. So at 100k HP, you get an additional 1,000 stat bonus, and at like 90k HP, you get 900, and so on and so forth. So really powerful character overall with V2 Big Mom. The next unit we'll be looking at is Dofi and Troubled Coliseum, and they will swap orbs for 2 turns and then lock the orbs. They apply a 2.75 chain lock, and after you hit 4 perfects on the following turn, they'll provide a 3.25 chain lock for 1 turn. The next unit we'll be looking at is Galette. She reduces the cooldown of a unit by 2 turns and applies a 3x chain lock if your captain is int or quick. The next unit we'll be looking at is Bunkichi. And Bunkichi, he's a really unique unit. I really like him. He removes all positive buffs and applies a 0.7x chain boost for 2 turns, which is really cool unit. There's not a lot of units that don't apply their own like orb and attack boosts when they remove all positive buffs. So obtaining a unit like Bunkichi is really great for situations where the enemy might apply a buff onto you. So the next unit we'll be looking at is Limited Rare Recruit Caesar, who removes 7 turns of bind, chain lock, and chain down. He completely removes all poisons and applies a 0.5 chain boost, and after you hit 3 perfects on the following turn, he applies a 1.1x chain boost, similar to Cracker's chain boost on the next turn, which is really strong. And the final unit for chain lockers, chain boosters, we'll be looking at is the Coliseum Kyoshiro. So Kyoshiro changes all MTG bomb orbs into int orbs, and if your HP is above 99%, he applies damage threshold, damage reduction by a certain percent above 3k HP, and adds a 0.9 chain boost. Otherwise, he'll just reduce damage by 80% and apply a 0.7 chain boost, which is really nice as well. In the final section of subs that I would recommend on a NAMI Robin team include support units. So I didn't know how to really categorize these units, but these units are not ones that you typically need in all situations. They're like utility, but they're a little bit better. So the first unit we'll be looking at is Puddin, who is a super powerful unit, one of the best subs in the game. So she changes all empty block and her own orb into matching, reduces the cooldown of the whole crew by 1, and she'll store 1 buff if she's not storing one already. So that includes orb boost, attack boost, color affinity, chain lock, chain boost, the raid sabo effect, and I believe it's something else. I believe or that might be all, I don't remember exactly, but she stores one of those, and then she'll reset her cooldown to max again, and then within 1 turn duration you're allowed to use that buff again. So she is just broken, such a powerful unit. You can use her to keep a orb boost and then use it that turn and use it on the following turn, which is very powerful, especially for NAMI Robin, since you're limited to 3 turns in their dual forms. So that means you can like store their 2.5 orb boost and bring it into another turn if you're using both NAMI Robins on stage 4, for example, for their HP cut, which is really powerful. Next unit we will be looking at is Shiraman. In Shiraman, she will change all orbs, including block orbs, into matching, heal 100 times their RCV stat, and then they'll remove 2 chosen debuffs by 10 turns, which is super powerful. They also have a swap ability that will change their matching orbs, any matching orbs on the crew into rainbow orbs, and you can store those rainbow orbs. So she's such a powerful character, especially as a sub on a NAMI Robin team. And the final unit we'll be looking at is Raid Dofi V2, and he randomizes all non-matching orbs, including block orbs, and locks the orbs for 1 turn. And if your captain is cerebral or driven, he will increase the duration of orb and attack boost by 2 turns. So this is such a powerful unit. You can pair this with the raid Shanks and Mihawk. The treasure map Shanks and Beckman. You can extend your orb and attack boost and then pair it up with the pair it up with the 3x color affinity and the 3x chain lock, and then you'll just do massive damage. So really powerful unit with that combination if you're allowed to do so, since Shanks and Beckman only allows you to use their special during that turn. So I feel that Raid Dofi VT will get a lot of usage on a NAMI Robin team, especially in Kizuna battles in the future. So with that, that's going to conclude all the units that I would recommend using as a sub on a NAMI Robin team. And let's get into my final thoughts. So my final thoughts on NAMI and Robin dual unit: very powerful dual unit in general. 4.5x captain is really strong. I'm not a big fan of Dex characters. I feel like they lack a little bit of damage and they're more utility based, while Int is really powerful, so it kind of balances out the unit. The 6x attack boost could be better, maybe in the future, like I say, in a later point, if they make a unit that makes empty orbs beneficial or matching somehow, then that 6x attack boost will become way more powerful. But right now it is not as powerful, since you won't get the orb boost out of their special, so it's kind of useless, the 6x attack boost or the 4x attack boost, if you're using their special. So yeah, that's what I think. Amazing swap ability as well. They being allowed to store all orbs, including block orbs and Simla, Rainbow, TND orbs, Wano orbs is really powerful. And there's a lot of situations where you can use the orbs to make your life easier, which is really great. And then finally, they work really well with their class Cerebral, and they also work really well with Dex and Int units. They work decently with Free Spirit characters, even though there's not really a lot that they can utilize super well. But there are some certain exceptions if you want to make a Free Spirit team with them, which is really nice. But yeah, that's going to conclude my legend breakdown on Nami and Robin. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want me to do another legend in particular, let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.